Hey y'all made it from Instagram over to YouTube. And episode 4 on YouTube. We back. All right, I'm done. I hope y'all are having a great day. Happy day. Don't be fluked, man. So what we were talking about was fear. And you know, I was never formally diagnosed with anxiety, but living my life with a person that has it and seeing what it does to them and them being able to actually verbalize what happens, I realized that I've had anxiety my whole life. Anybody that knew me back then knew I was a very shy child. If I had to get up and speak, people would tell me that I'm crazy because I couldn't speak in front of a room, but I could go into a gym full of folks and know none of them and play like they weren't even there. But when I stepped on the floor, y'all, I was so focused on the craft and what I was doing, right? So focused on the task at hand that I didn't even pay the fans any mind. I didn't see people in the stands. The problem is when it came to different parts of my life, I was unable to put them blockers up and just be in that space. So fear came. Now I can name it as anxiety, but fears came. And they stayed and they ain't go nowhere. So what we're going to talk about today is just fear. And I'll start by defining it as always. And the definition of fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. So there are a few things that step out in this thing, right? First thing is an emotion. Emotions are fickle, right? They change all the time. People like to say that women are overly emotional, but the truth is we all emotional. We all feel emotions and they come and go and they leave and then they stay. And some of us, are better than others at controlling them. But for the most part, they just here. So knowing that it's emotion, knowing that fear will come and leave. It ain't staying. It's not constant. It is not consistent. It is not permanent. It's an emotion. So just like happiness comes and goes or sadness comes and goes, fear is going to come and go. Another part of this is that it says it's an unpleasant emotion, right? We don't like things that are unpleasant. I know as a child or as an adult, to this day, I do not like licorice. Can't stand it. Tasted it one time as a child. I'll never eat it again. It's unpleasant to me, so I stay away from it. Fear is an unpleasant emotion. It does not feel good. The part that sticks out to me more than anything is that it's caused by a belief. Belief starts within us. It starts within our mind. We've been talking about dreams and goals and staying the course and trusting the process and believing that we deserve the things that we desire. What I'm telling you is that when you have fear, it is simply a belief that this unpleasant emotion is coming. And the unpleasant emotion is led by the belief that something is going to hurt us or cause us harm. A lot of times for me, I'm sure for you, our fears are rooted in past traumas. Things have happened that cause us to be fearful. We've experienced something. We ate something. The bug bit us. This dog chased us down the street, you know what I'm saying? Like my cousin passed on a motorcycle, so I refused to ride on one. Like whatever it may be, our fears 9 times out of 10 are either caused in past traumas or things we can't see. My college coach, you made it 2 weeks in a row, coach. Shout out to Vanessa Taylor. My coach used to always harp and try to bleed and beat into our minds as her players to only focus on the things we could control. If she was going to run us all day, we couldn't control that. All we could control is whether or not we were going to run and then how hard we were going to run. First things first, do not let the fear of the unknown cause your mind to believe that this unpleasant emotion belongs inside of you. It don't. You can believe whatever you want. There are people out here that believe that, I don't know, some that believe that God is real and some that believe that God isn't. There are people that believe that GMOs aren't bad, and then there are some that believe that GMOs are. Like, you're going to believe whatever resonates within your spirit. What I'm telling you is don't allow fear to be that thing that resonates with you. Fear comes to seek, kill, and destroy. I can't see it no other way. I talked to you last week about following your dreams and not giving up and staying the course. And I said, if I would have stayed the course when I was in college to now, where would I be? What I didn't tell y'all is the only thing that stopped me was fear, right? Fear of never being secure financially. Fear of not being able to buy a house. Fear of not being able to provide for myself and my family the way I want to. Those things stopped me from just chasing my dreams and going through the struggle when I needed to. Irony, I'm still sitting here trying to figure it out and trying to make it, y'all. Those things that I was afraid of not happening because I was going to start these businesses, they still ain't happened, and I done played the game the right way. Do not allow fear to throw you off of your course. I believe that when you are walking in your purpose and your passion, I believe in God, y'all. God is going to bring you right back. 10 years removed from when I originally wanted to be a therapist, be a psychologist, be a hooper, right? Be a basketball trainer, be a coach in all aspects of that word. 10 plus years later, I'm here. My own fears couldn't stop my destiny from happening. What I'm telling you is just don't be afraid. My grandfather used to tell me all the time that fear is nothing but false evidence appearing real. False, fake evidence, right? So we watch TV. How many shows have you seen recently of the cops lying and making up stuff or ignoring evidence to convict people? It's the same thing you're doing when you have fear, because the evidence that you have created that you have gathered to justify you being afraid of whatever it may be, it ain't based in no truth. It's just in your mind, right? Or because it happened before, you believe that history's going to repeat itself. It's just going to keep happening like this for me. You ain't got to believe that. You don't have to believe that. You are the master of your destiny. So it's false evidence appearing, seeming, feeling even, because it's an emotion, right? Feeling real. Nothing about it is real, dog. Like, you ain't got to believe and live in those fears. You just don't. You want to start that business? Start it. You want to have that kid? Have it. Whether you have all the money or not, I promise you'll figure it out. How I know that? Because there's proof in the pudding. There's too many people out here with kids that didn't have it all figured out that are doing great now. My mother had me at 16 and she's doing amazing, and I'm going to toot my own horn. I feel like I'm doing great too. Just because of your circumstances and the fear and the journey that you might have to endure doesn't mean that I don't go and hit start on my life, right? It doesn't mean that I just sit and let the fear cripple me. I was listening to a YouTube video by Chica Chica. Shout out, girl. Hey, I like your videos. They help me. But fear, she said that fear ignites change. And when I heard it, I said, damn. You can get so afraid or so fearful that it ignites change. A lot of the time, the fears that we have when it comes to personal development and growth are they're because we want something. It's because we want to change. We are seeking change. Change is knocking on our door, because remember, growth is inevitable. You always have to be growing. So sometimes we don't even want to change, but it's knocking because it's time to grow. It becomes, you become fearful, but fear ignites change. Fear is also the #1 killer of dreams. In our dreams video, we talked about believing that you were worthy of whatever your heart could desire, right? Excuse me, y'all. Whatever your heart could desire, it don't change. You'll feel certain pains at times. Like for me with the anxiety, like I was talking about, I could physically feel it. I can feel it in my stomach, I get shakes. Like it's bad when it happens. And thank you, Father God. It has not happened in a long time, but it happens, y'all. It happened to me last night, and I feel like I know what triggered it, but I don't know. I got to do some more journal work and some more shadow work to really figure it out. But it could be physical. It could be physically pain at times, painful. Fear is a hindrance. Fear is not something that serves you. So how we've talked about in past videos, like we only deal with the things that serve us. I'm telling you that if you have fear, write it down, figure out what you're afraid of, and then write down what exactly about said outcome or said thing makes you afraid. And then look at the evidence around you of all the things that you've made it through that you weren't fearful of. And then look at the things you were fearful of that you made it through. And I want you to take inventory, right? I want you to journal. Shout out to Marquita G. She has an amazing journal line. If I'm you, I'm getting on that thing. It got prompts for us that don't like the journal, and then it's just blank pages for when we feel it. But do the work, man. Write down what the fear is. Once you write down what about that one thing scares you. And then I want you to take it piece by piece and make it make sense. Once you put it to, like I said last week, there's a power in words and writing it down. Once you put it on paper, you can see it clearly. 9 times out of 10, you ain't even gonna be afraid no more because you have now made sense of it. We fear the things that we don't know. So as opposed to running away from learning and depth and education, go learn about the thing that you scared of, right? Go figure that part out. I promise you'll like it. I could go through a long list of my past experiences that have scared me to the point that I shouldn't even be out here trying to do these businesses. I should be good, just staying in the matrix. But maybe I'm crazy, but I just know that I was called for more and I believe in me, even with all the times that I failed. I think it's the competitiveness and the competitor in me that allows me to know when I failed, to really look in the mirror and figure out what I did wrong. And in every situation where it didn't go my way, I know things that I believe I did wrong. So I'm not gonna sit here and go through all of my past transgressions. You know what I'm saying? Like, we live in transparency, and I'm telling you, my past life and my past traumas have really hindered me in certain areas of my life, but I refuse to hold on to those things. Those things no longer serve me. So because of that failed business in San Diego doesn't stop me from creating and thriving in my businesses here in North Carolina. That failed marriage at 24 has no precedence and nothing to do with this future marriage that I'm planning in 2022. Like, I've done the work. I've dealt with the hurt. I've dealt with the fears of failure. I understand what failure even looks like to me now. After listening and brainwashing myself from listening to so many people that have made it talk about their failures and how many times they failed and that they only needed that one time. Just like the Little Giants, you only need one time to win. I believe that I'm a winner. None of my fears are going to stop me from putting these seeds in the ground and watering them and nurturing them and taking care of them. You are the creator of your own destiny. Your mind is the most powerful thing you have, and fear starts and stops in your mind. Write it down, journal, meditate, get centered, get balanced, take your baths, go for walks, enjoy nature, find like-minded people that you can have real conversations with and be transparent with, that genuinely care about you, and more than that, are not listening to judge you. Find people that really want to grow. Find people that are really searching for something deeper than themselves, like you are. And when those people are there, trust it. Do the work, and I promise you'll look up and fear won't even be a thing. It'll come, you'll see it, you'll know that it's fear, and you'll get rid of it. Trust yourself, and more than you trust yourself, Trust the spirit, trust the God, trust the universe, whatever you call it. Trust that thing that lives inside of you that speaks to you every single day. Trust your intuition, trust your gut. You have been honest with yourself. You've been transparent with yourself. You've defined what you're afraid of. You've defined failure. You've defined it all. You've put in words to it to make it make sense and resonate with you, which lets me know and lets you know that because you have control over your mind, you don't have to subscribe to any of that. None of it. It's up to you. You don't have to subscribe to any of it. As always, you're going to want to look back through your journey, through your documents. Write it down. As I was journaling this morning, trying to get myself ready for this day, you know, I set my intentions every morning. And as I was doing that, I was journaling. And in my journaling today, more than I wrote, I read and I looked back through some previous passages and a couple different journals. Because like I said, I got notes everywhere, right? I'm not that organized with my thoughts. I'm trying to get better. But in doing that, I realized God didn't bring me this far to leave me. And me choosing, let's just say, to get married, it wasn't the right decision at the right time. But I made it anyways. I knew the person, I knew the risks, I knew all of that. But I jumped anyways. And while it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, I learned so much about me. I got to live in California, which, Lord willing, one day we'll get there and we'll stay. I loved California. But I learned other things. And more than that, I learned what I wanted in a spouse, what I didn't want in a spouse, and I learned exactly who I wanted to be as a spouse, as a wife, as a mom, so even in our failures, it's only a failure if you look at it that way. You can learn from everything and you could grow from everything. All life experiences help to build confidence in this journey. As long as you're journaling and keeping documentation, videos, whatever the case may be, of the journey, and you're taking time to reflect and go back and really experience and believe that this was your life, I promise you, you'll have more confidence. The fear will eradicate and it'll be easier to take them steps to achieve them goals. So with that being said, I'm not going to keep dwelling on it. I feel like I've given everything that was laid in my heart to give. As always, subscribe, right? Subscribe, like, comment, all that. Make sure you hit the bell, the notifications bell, so you don't miss another video. But please, let's interact. Let's be a community. Let's talk about these things. I know I have my thoughts on it, but I am always open to learning. I am having these videos, like always, just so that we can start the conversations, those hard conversations that most people don't want to have. So with that being said, I hope this video resonates with you. I can't wait to talk more about it, answer questions, just have a dialogue. I hope y'all have a great, great evening, and I'll see y'all back here real soon. Peace.